There are 8 different SMGs inside Battlefield 6, all with their unique characteristics and unique playstyles as well. This video is going to go over which one of the SMGs has the fastest time to kill out of the bunch. Now, time to kill isn't everything when it comes to SMGs in this game, although it is a pretty big factor. We do need to also consider things like recoil and also reload times and mag sizes as well. Now, unfortunately, I haven't unlocked every single gun in this game to actually test the recoil pattern, but we have managed to figure out the time to kill for all of these weapons, and that is thanks to battlefinity.gg. So that is where we've got all of our time to kill data from. We've managed to collate all of that into our spreadsheet so that we can show you what the top fastest TTK SMGs actually are. Now, what you actually see on screen now is a list of all the SMGs inside Battlefield 6 and also their time to kill values. Now, this is in milliseconds, by the way, and then we also have attached the mag size and the rate of fire next to this as well, because it's going to give us a better understanding of why the time to kill values are exactly what they are within this game. Now, right now, it's not going to make too much sense to you because it's just a lot of numbers on screen. But what we're going to do now is actually order this in terms of fastest time to kill in the 10-meter range. This is from 0 to 10 meters, the fastest TTK SMG. So as you can see at the very top now, we have the KV9, which at that super close range is 119 milliseconds, which is ridiculously fast, by the way. Now, the reason why this has got such a fast time to kill is because you can see the rate of fire is the fastest out of the bunch. Now, the damage of this gun is not super quick. It's actually got a 25 damage value, and this is mainly to the body. But like I said, that is why it kills so fast. However, the mag does run out pretty quickly, so that is something that you do need to consider. Now, moving on down one as well, so we've got the SCW, and this has a slightly slower time to kill, not by much, but it is still slower. But again, the mag size on this is pretty small. However, this gun does deal a lot more damage. It's actually got 33 base damage compared to the KV9, so it does deal more damage with a slower fire rate. But then when we're looking at the SGX, which is the starting SMG that we get in this game, it performs actually really well at close range time to kill. It's actually pretty much exactly the same as the SCW, but it's overall a more balanced weapon, right? The recoil is not as going to be as crazy, the mag size is a bit more respectable, and the rate of fire is alright as well. Now, what we've done is arranged for that mid-range, so the 10 to 40 meter mark. Now, we're not going to go any further than this because I feel like you shouldn't really be using an SMG past the 40 meter mark in the first place. However, some of them do have pretty decent accuracy, but we won't get into that too much. Now, when it comes to the SCW and the KV9, as you can see, they both perform the best at this range in terms of time to kill alone, but the mag size for both of these guns already don't make them very competitive at range. And obviously you can extend these, but again, the mag on the extended mags is still nowhere near as big as you would like it to be. But not only that, the recoil of these guns are pretty high too. I have seen some gameplay on these, and although I can't test it and show you, we will do that in a future video, by the way. But again, the recoil is not great. So then we're looking at the USG 90 and the PW7, and both of these guns perform really well in that medium range time to kill. As you can see, it's around about 300 to about 320 millisecond time to kill, which I think is pretty respectable. And the rate of fires are not too bad as well, so they're pretty forgiving. But also I do want to point out the SGX once more, because it's not really that far off the rest, and like I said, it is that starting SMG that you can use to perform and do really well at almost every single range with. I want to highlight 3 guns here. First up is the KV90. Now, if you just want that raw time to kill and you want to kill as quick as you possibly can at super close ranges and try and compete with some of the more broken shotguns in Battlefield 6, then this is the gun that you want to use, because it's got the absolute best close range time to kill, and even in that second range as well, you're going to be performing extremely well. So it is relatively forgiving even at slightly further ranges. You just need to manage the recoil and keep an eye out for the fire rate, because you will be burning through ammo very quickly. Now, when it comes to those medium to long ranges and you just want to be very competitive against the carbines, the ARs, and you just like the faster mobility that an SMG offers, then the USG-90 is going to be the best option. Now, not only that, it's also got a 50 round mag and a very respectable rate of fire, which overall is just going to help you out an absolute ton. So this gun definitely has to be on the list as well. Now, of course, it is an SMG style, so if you do need to fire at super long ranges, then I recommend going for something else. But like I said, if you want to stay mobile and competitive, then this is the one that you want to go for. Now, even though the SGX is the starting gun when it comes to SMGs inside Battlefield 6, if you don't want to compromise on control, you want to remain competitive at medium and even close ranges, and you want to make sure you're landing all of your shots, then the SGX is definitely the best SMG to go for. Now, even though, like I said, it's a starting SMG, you're still going to perform extremely well with this and outcompete most of the others inside Battlefield 6. So based off our source, those are the 3 SMGs I would recommend for almost each different scenario within Battlefield 6. Now, I did leave some weapon builds on the screen as well. Again, that was taken from our source. I don't know how reliable those are because I haven't used some of them just yet, but that is what some of the other players that are playing Battlefield are using. So if you have unlocked those guns, then you can definitely go ahead and use those builds, but this is not a loadout video. Now, I do want to give you a quick couple of tips when it comes to using SMGs inside Battlefield 6, and the first one is making sure you use your hip fire. Now, hip firing is super important in this game, and I didn't really realize how important it was until I actually played a lot more games using SMGs. So you want to actually aim a few of your builds, or at least a couple attachments, towards hip fire accuracy, and then if you're using the engineer class, then of course you're going to get this anyway. So engineers will definitely benefit a ton from the hip fire accuracy, like I said. So if you are kind of playing any of the close quarters game modes, which don't really require any vehicle combat, you can still use the SMGs with the engineer class to try and get a slight bump in performance in terms of how well you're going to actually play in general. Now, I'm a support player. I don't really like switching around too much, to be honest, but like I said, you will get that slight benefit playing engineer with your SMGs, especially if you're trying to level them up as well at this stage in the Battlefield 6 game. Now, another quick tip is just making sure you try and get a bit more mobility within your SMG. So again, build your attachments towards mobility and even ADS. All of these are really important stats for when you're in super close quarters engagements and you need to get your shots off before the enemy players. At longer ranges, you can kind of hold angles a bit better. You can tap fire. You've got a lot more time on your hands. But I think in closer ranges, especially with the way the movement's working in Battlefield 6 now, I do think you need that slight advantage. So like I said, focus some attachments on mobility as well as aim down sight speeds. Now, that is all I have for this video. If you enjoyed it and you want to see the same type of video for assault rifles, LMGs and carbines, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much for watching.